Hey everybody, it's Maker Matt here. Thanks for watching my video. Today I'm going to be making some changes to my everyday carry Sig P365. I'm going to change the grip module from the original P365 to the P365X. And I'm also going to be upgrading the sights from the stock sights to these fiber optic sights. I'm also going to be changing my trigger to a flat trigger from the stock curve trigger. I'm also going to be changing the striker spring so that the trigger pull is about 4.5 pounds instead of 6 pounds. So in order to do all that stuff, we're going to need a few tools. We're going to need some painter's tape. We're going to need a little bit of lube, and we use that as kind of a glue to put some of these springs in. We're going to need a sight pusher or sight puller, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to need a punch, a little hammer, mechanical pencil, and some cheap digital calipers. All this stuff I was able to get really inexpensively on Amazon. This was $8 for this little mechanical digital calipers. This was $20, and none of this stuff is high quality, but I'm not a gunsmith. I'm not going to be doing this as a profession. This is just for my personal everyday carry gun. So first thing we need to do is disassemble the original 365. So in order to do that, there's lots of videos on how to take this down. I've already safed the weapon, but we'll do it just because everybody likes to see the gun safed. So you're gonna lock it back, take a look down the barrel, look at the firing pin, look down the mag well. There's no rounds in there. Look away and check it again. This gun is safe. So we're gonna go ahead and break it down. In order to do that on the 365, you push the disassembly lever down and then drop the slide spring, and it comes right off. So the top part right now, we don't need to do anything to disassemble that. I am going to take the spring and magazine or barrel out just because it's easier to work with when you have those out. And this is how we'll be changing the sights with the barrel or the slide in this configuration. So the next thing we need to do is pull the fire control unit out, or the FCU. So in order to do that, there's simply a little punch pin right here, and just find something to put it on like so. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. There's some people who make stuff to do this on just using a roll of tape. And you're going to take your punch, set it on there, and give it a little tap. And that is all it took. Almost no effort. You could probably do it by hand, and your punch will come out the other side, and I tap it through the other side. There we go, and it's out. And this is your pin. It's got little, it doesn't matter which way it goes in, it's got little grooves to lock it into place. So now the fire control unit, or FCU, simply pushes up out of the frame like so. So it just comes up out of the back, and it's held in place with some indents in the polymer handle there, and then you just kind of push it forward and it comes right out. So this is our fire control unit, and I've never taken this out of this gun, so it's pretty much the way it came from factory. And we're gonna be making a few changes now. There's lots of videos on how to do this. I'm not gonna go step by step necessarily. My particular fire control unit has a manual safety on it, and I've explained this in my other videos. I know there's a lot of people out there that hate manual safeties, and they say, this is my manual safety. That's good for you, man. But I appendix carry, and there is a loaded 9mm pistol pointed at my junk, and I do not particularly trust this or any other mechanism that may malfunction and fire that round into my junk. So I like my junk. I want to keep my junk. So I opted for the manual safety. And people were like, yeah, well, if I draw down on you and I don't have a manual safety, I'm going to win. Okay, maybe. But I train with a manual safety, and I train when I pull it from my holster. I flip. It's habit. It's muscle memory. As I draw up, my finger goes up, and I'm ready to fire before my gun is pointed in your direction. I guarantee it. So that's just my personal preference. You do whatever you want to do, and I won't judge you. So if you decide that the cool thing about SIG manufacturing is all of these fire control units are manufactured exactly the same. This manual safety, if you don't have one, you bought a 365 without one, you can buy this manual safety for like $20, and it comes with all the parts. And you can just put it in your fire control unit. It's very easy to do. It comes with a little detent here, and this ambidextrous manual safety, and the process is fairly easy. Take out a few of these springs and you can put it right in there. The difference then comes into the grip module. So the grip module, you see this one has a cutout for the manual safety. Well, SIG does not make a manual safety in the grip modules for the X and XL. So I'm just going to use a Dremel, cut that out on both sides, and then it'll look exactly like that. Now the difference between the grip modules, if you didn't know, this is the original 365, and it's originally a 10-round magazine fits in here. That's how it comes from the factory, and you can buy 12-round extensions, which that's really the only way I like to shoot it. My hands are a little too big for this particular grip. You can see your pinky will hang off if you have the short 10-round magazine, and that's fine. But this gun, because it's so small and it has such a large round in it, it does kick really pretty aggressively, and I find that I shoot much better if I can get that purchase with my pinky on the full handle. Now the extended 12-round magazine, it does come with a pinky extension on it, and so do the 10-round magazines. So I have carried like that, but it's just not as nice as this grip, which I don't need an extension on here. It just fits my hand. It also comes with a bit of a dovetail here. You can see the difference on these two grip modules, that this one is a little longer, so it gives you a little better purchase than the flat one here. And this doesn't really affect my everyday carry. This isn't where I have problems with everyday carry. Everyday carry guns, in my opinion, where they have the biggest problem is they print at the handle, depending on the holster you have. And you can look at my review on the QCAC holster. It has what they call the claw, which pushes the pistol from this orientation on your body to this orientation. So if your shirt's here and it's pushing out, everybody's going to see you're carrying a pistol. But with the claw, it brings it back in and your shirt hangs naturally, and nobody can tell that you're carrying, which is obviously the goal in concealed carry. It says so right in the name. So we're going to go ahead and make those adjustments with a Dremel on here, and that will take care of the grip module working for the traditional stock 365. Now there's also a difference on the 365 versus the XL. The frames are the same, other than the dovetail here that's a little longer. They're identical, except for the grip, obviously. The XL does come with a longer slide and barrel if you were to buy it that way. And this one is basically you're buying the 365X instead of the XL. And neither of those come with a manual safety. Only the 365 did. Now, don't DM me and tell me, yes, it does come with it. Maybe it does now. I don't know. When I made this, it didn't. So not everything is forever, everybody. Just remember that. Things change. This video will be time-stamped, and If something changes after that, then fine. And if there was a way to order it with it before, I never heard of it, and I don't know everything, and I'm not the smartest person in the world, but maybe you are. Anywho, let's get to fixing this thing and building it, and then I'll go by. I'll go over how I'm going to get these stock sights off. They're pretty good. I'm able to shoot pretty well with them, but they're just not that bright. These are tritium, I believe, in the back here, and they do glow in the dark, but they're pretty dim. I've practiced in the dark, and they don't work that great. So I'm switching to some fiber optic sights, and hopefully that'll give me what I want in the daytime for nice bright sights. So I'm gonna do that. All right, let's cut this out and we'll move forward from there. I went ahead and measured it with my calipers and stuff, and that mark that was on there, I don't know what that's for, but it's not for the manual safety. So what I did was I put a little bit of painter's tape on here, and then I put in the fire control unit pin, and then I set the original one on there to register these so that they lock together. And then I went ahead and traced out the new position, and I did that for both sides. So then I flipped it over and did it on the other side. So that registers where it's supposed to be, so I'm not going to be forward or back. And then I remeasured out the distance from here to here, and it's 7.2 millimeters or something like that. So it's all looking good. So now I'm going to cut those out with the Dremel. So I went ahead and have changed out the grip module. So this is the P365 XL grip module. And as you can see, I have a fully functioning mechanical safety. And this slide and barrel and fire control unit is all from my original P365. So it is an ambidextrous manual safety. When the safety's off, this gun is safed, by the way. I haven't done anything different since the beginning of the video. You can fire, no problem. Rack the slide, safety engages, no fire. So it worked perfectly. You really need this to do the job properly. You have to have a caliper, so you can measure the depth of the mechanical safety and the width. So I got it exactly right. And then using the locating pin here for the fire control unit as clutch. You put that pin in, you drop this on top of that with the pin to locate it, and then I had a piece of painter's tape here and drew it out and then cut it out with a Dremel, and it worked perfect. Also, you're going to need a couple of flat micro files to really fine tune within 1/10 of a millimeter. I was able to fine tune it exactly right. So it's working perfectly. It doesn't engage when you haven't racked the slide. You rack the slide, works perfectly. All right, I have my fire control unit back together again. It's functioning perfectly. You can see I have the new flat trigger in there. My manual safety is working great. The takedown lever works just as it should. I really want to, again, thank Sig Guy at sigguy.com, because he has a lot of really good tips on getting this all back together. Please just watch his video for the reassembly of your fire control unit, because I can't do it justice. He's the pro. He had a couple of good tips about putting your punch through this side, not this side, and so on and so forth. So just watch Sig Guy, his video on YouTube, or go to his website, sigguy.com, and watch him. He should get the credit for what he did. I'm just a ding-dong that follows what other people have done. So that's all working perfectly. I have my new trigger. I have my new sear spring, and a new trigger spring here, and everything is great. So I'm gonna put it back in my grip module, sorry. And so earlier, I had cut this out, and it works perfectly. I just needed to measure up properly and used a Dremel and a little micro flat file, and it turned out perfectly. And this is the Sig P365 XL grip module because I wanted the longer extension on the grip. So to put this back in, you put it in at an angle like this, and then you just snap it into the back like so. And then we're gonna put our pin back in, and I just use a little tiny hammer. A lot of guys use a special polyurethane hammer. It's fine, it just needs to be flush on both sides. So we'll put our barrel and spring back in. And then we will put our takedown lever down. So you lift your slide lock, bring your takedown lever down, and now you can put the gun back on, or sorry, the slide back on. And you bring it back to the lock position. When you lock it, it'll automatically drop the takedown lever. And then we can take it down, check the functionality. Oh. So that works, no fire. Much softer. Yeah, much better. I mean, 6.5 pounds is not that much, but 4.5, pretty good. I'm gonna hold it down, reset. Not bad. So it seems to be working really well. No problems. Ambidextrous manual safety. I highly recommend that for everybody, but that's just me. You do you. But I prefer the manual safety because I like that extra little bit of safety. So this is working great. So now I have a Sig P365 original upper with a 365 XL lower that holds 12 rounds with a flat trigger and a manual safety. That was not an option when I bought this. So now it is. Thank God Sig thought ahead and was able to make it so all of their 365 guns were modular and you could put different things on them. So my next modification, which I will be doing in this video, is going to be to take out the stock sights and replace those with fiber optic sights so I can see a little better when I'm shooting. And then we'll take it to the range and see how well it performs. So let me pop out these sights. I'll do that with you too. Yeah, it's coming out, not easily, but.
You want me to do this?
Yeah. There it goes, it's out. Ta-da! All right, that little bugger's out.
Nice. That's what I thought it was. It was a dovetail.
Yeah, it's a little dovetail. So we got that out. This sight pusher sucks. It's
But it worked.
it rotates. The whole slide will turn in there, so you have to just try to figure that out. But it does come out. It's not good. But it was $20. The good ones are $120, so saved $100. slow and easy. This stupid sight pusher does work, but it is a piece of crap made out of the finest Chinesium in all of China. A little more. I think that's good, actually. All right, so now we gotta measure both sides to make sure that that's in the center. We already got the front side on. We centered that one up. Come on, focus. And focus. We had to measure both sides of that, but we definitely got it in.
You tell them to take the rubber off.
Yeah, this sight pusher comes with these stupid rubber pads. It makes it 100,000 times worse because they just compress, and then the whole slide just rotates in these vices. So just take those rubber things off, throw them in the trash, and use painter's tape. Success! I got the sights changed out. It was a pain in the butt, but we did it. The sight pusher that I bought is definitely a piece of junk, but it's only $20, and you can just search on Amazon for sight pusher, and there's more expensive ones, but it did the job. Where I found that it was flawed is it comes with these rubber pads to grip onto the side. Do not use those, they're terrible. What they do is as you tighten it down and try to push the sight out, the rubber compresses and it just twists the gun. So don't use those, just use painter's tape on the slide and on the sight pusher, and then it worked just fine. We used the micrometer, the depth micrometer, to get these centered up exactly perfect. You probably won't have one of those, but if you do, that's the way to go. It looks like this, a depth micrometer. Nobody has one of these but my dad, because that's what he did for years and years. So use one of these. It still works. I use this as well, but the depth micrometer is much more accurate. So this, I got these sights centered more accurately than the factory does, I guarantee it. It was down to 1/1000th of an inch centered. So, so the things that I did, that I modified, I got rid of, I got the newer grip module. So this is the original P365. That was the 10 round grip, and it's just too short. Even with the extensions, I didn't really like it. So I went with the P365 XL, which I had to cut out the area for the manual safety, and I went over that earlier. That was pretty easy to do. Just need a Dremel and some the calipers and to get your depths and everything right. I changed to a flat trigger. I changed the trigger spring and the striker spring and the sear spring to go from a 6.5 pound trigger to a 4.5 pound trigger. It shoots much better. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the magazine spring to this style from Mag Guts. They're about $35 for a spring, and it gives you 14 rounds in the magazine. So this will be a 15 round with one in the chamber. 14 in the magazine, one in the chamber, 15 round P365 with a manual safety and fiber optic sights with a 4.5 pound trigger. The only other upgrade I think I'll do to this gun is I'm going to change the striker, the firing pin, to a titanium version of it that's lighter and stronger and better. So it still fits in my Cusack holster, which is a hybrid between leather and Kydex. It does not collapse. I have a full review on this gun. It's my everyday carrier. I've had it for 3 years, and it's a great holster, maybe 2.5 years. I don't know, something like that. I've had it for quite a while, and it's fantastic. I love it. And the sights fit in there, fits perfectly. So very happy about that.
Somehow it glows.
Oh yeah, so that's my dad in the background. He helped me with all this because he's the better version of me. But if you can see that, you can see the red dot, not red dot, but the fiber optic is very bright, and it looks great. on your sight picture. It's very easy to sight now, as to where the factory ones were kind of lame. So in MakerMat fashion, we will rate this now on a scale of 1 to 10 on how hard was it. Changing the springs and everything, I'd give that a 5 out of 10. It's really not hard. You just need to go slow. Like I said earlier, watch the Sig Guy videos on how to change those. They're very detailed and good. I can't do any better than that, so I didn't want to bother with it. And then as far as changing your sights, I'd give that about a 7 out of 10. It was frustrating because it's a crappy sight pusher, and the rubber things to grab onto the slide made it way harder. But if you just don't have those rubber things, once we took those out, it was much easier and it worked just fine. So you definitely need some sort of measuring tool like these calipers here, or a depth micrometer, to get your sights aligned perfectly, because if you don't have them dead center, you're gonna be shooting wonky, and that's no good. So if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. I don't just do gun videos. I do a lot of home projects and car projects, and I build models and all kinds of stuff. So if you like what you saw, you like the way I present stuff, go ahead and give me a follow, subscribe to my channel, put the little bell on or whatever. This is MakerMat saying, how hard could it be?